United agree fee for Ajax star, the Messi transfer gets Messi, AC Milan close in on Tonali, a transfer roundup, and today's Emoji Mondays all coming up in the next few minutes as I am your host Matt Froelich, you are the Onefootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, and all the talk last week about Lionel Messi leaving, but Donny van der Beek coming into Barcelona seems to be absolute nonsense because Manchester United have agreed a fee with the Ajax for the Dutch star. Now, this obviously leaves me, and probably you guys, with a load of questions about where on earth Van der Beek is actually going to play. Obviously, the deal isn't done just yet, but apparently, even though the official 40 million plus add-ons has been accepted, they just need to iron out a few creases in the contract, and Van der Beek will be signing a deal until 2025. So, let's say the best three midfielders at United are Bruno Fernandes, Pogba and Van der Beek. Can they all play together? Like, which one of them is going to play deepest? You'd assume that Bruno Fernandes would be in the number 10 role. So would you really have Pogba and Van der Beek next to each other in central midfield? There's not really a lot of defensive cover. I feel like Scott McTominay is going to provide that defensive cover, but then you've got to kick one of them out. The thing is about Van der Beek is he's quite versatile. Like, he could play off the left or the right hand side, or even as a false nine if they need to as well. He's got very good versatility around the pitch. I'm just not so sure where they could fit everybody in. Of course, the flip side to this is that Man United just need good squad players. They need really good players to come in and make the difference, because we saw towards the end of the season, especially by the time they got knocked out of the Europa League, they were absolutely knackered. Like, they had every single player pretty much playing every single game. And then you had Nemanja Matic in there as well, who just looks like he's really tired because he's that slow. But anyway, when it comes to the attacking options, Van der Beek is definitely a fantastic signing, especially if they can nick him from under the nose of Barcelona as well. And the reason they're probably able to do so is that Barcelona have bigger fish to fry. I say that, they've got bigger things to worry about, and that is Lionel Messi. Over the weekend, of course, there were loads more news stories coming out about his potential departure from the club, and it looks like they're arguing over one specific clause in his contract, and that is a clause which says he can leave for free at the end of the 1920 season, which finally, after lockdown, we have reached. On one side, Messi's camp is saying that the clause for 700 million euros, which is the buyout clause, is not active anymore. After the 1920 season, it's done. Messi can leave on a free. And of course, the club are saying to the contrary, and so are La Liga. They're actually saying that they side with the club, and until that fee is paid, Messi will not be going anywhere, unless obviously Barcelona accept a lower fee, which it looks like they're definitely not going to be going to do. Yes, you're probably thinking, Matt, you're talking about Lionel Messi again. Is it going to go on like this forever? Of course it is. We're talking about Messi leaving Barcelona. So until that happens, we're probably going to mention it every few days, although I'll try and bring something new for you guys. I'll leave the Messi bit to kind of halfway through the show, so it's not always the headline news. Anyway, talking to some more interesting news, and it's the transfer of Sandro Tonali, the next Andrea Pirlo, as he has been called, and the Brescia player is close to moving to AC Milan. First off, in the summer, there were rumours he was going to Juve, right? But after bringing in the likes of Arta as well, I'm not so sure he's necessarily going to end up there. So a few months later, it was Inter Milan who were interested, apparently going to go head-to-head with rivals AC for the Wonder Kid signature. But for some reason, they've decided to go ahead with Arturo Vidal. Certainly they're interested in Arturo Vidal, who at that age doesn't really make much sense to bring him in ahead of Tonali. And Tanguy Ndombele, who not only has shown fitness concerns with injuries over the last year or so, but also is Spurs' most expensive signing ever, so they're going to have to pay a hell of a lot of money to get him out of his Spurs contract. So AC Milan have said, you know what? We're going to make a move. We're going to do the deal. We're going to agree everything. Apparently it's around 20 million euros with 10 million euros worth of add-ons, and they're getting themselves one hell of a player. Everyone in the comments section seems to say, will Barca become the new AC Milan? That's a bit offensive to AC Milan, because you look at some of the players they're getting in and the squad they've got, they're probably going to be pretty decent this season. So next up, in a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news that you might have missed. And Kai Havertz did not show up to the first day of Leverkusen training. Apparently, he is edging ever closer to that long-awaited move to Chelsea. Valencia have inquired about Arsenal's French midfielder Matteo Guendouzi. Leeds United apparently want Rodrigo de Paul, although they're going to have to pay around 31 million euros if they're to do so. And lastly but not least, West Ham striker Sebastian Haller has rejected their move back to the Bundesliga with Hertha Berlin. Next up, and a quick look back on your Friday feels, and a few of you got a couple of bits right this weekend. First up, Joe Fernandes guessed that Arsenal would win in the Community Shield, and they did, on penalties. By the way, what a fantastic goal that was from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in regular time. Next up, and Dev Karan-Banik correctly predicted that Weston McKennie's deal from Schalke to Juventus would be finalised this weekend, and he is now a player for the Old Lady. And RK correctly predicted that Lyon would win 3-1 against Wolfsburg in the Women's Champions League final. Lastly but not least then, we come to this week's Emoji Mondays. This is where we at Onefootball throw a couple of emojis down on some of the weekend's action, and there are two best players for this weekend. The first is, as I mentioned, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. A fantastic goal again at Wembley for Arsenal, and then scoring the winning goal in the penalty shootout to win Arsenal the Community Shield. It's a pretty good weekend for him overall. Alongside this, and Memphis Depay, after getting over the semi-final defeat in the Champions League with Lyon, managed to bag a hat-trick in Liga's opening weekend win against Dijon. Next up, in the crazy moment of the weekend, I don't know whether it's true or not, whether it's to be believed, but apparently Martin Braithwaite, apparently it's Braithwaite. Anyway, he went to the Barcelona board and said that if Messi is sold, he wants the number 10 shirt. I just think there's so many big problems for Barca at the moment. The last thing they're worrying about is the number 10 shirt. And the last thing they're going to do with it if Messi leaves is give it to him. No offence, but the next guy to wear that shirt, if they don't retire it, has got to be something special. So yeah, that kind of rules Braithwaite out of the running. Anyway, lastly but not least, and the best result of the weekend is Arsenal's Community Shield win against a very strong Liverpool side who you'd probably expect to go on and dominate English football again this season. There you have it then, that is all from me for today's daily news. But you guys let me know your Emoji Mondays in the comment section below and your thoughts on the rest of today's daily news. Whilst you're at it, you can smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on Onefootball. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.